Hey, so I had a client reach out and ask me, how do I plan and write her programs? She's an aspiring trainer herself. She's trying to become a personal trainer. She wants to learn a little bit more in detail about how the effort and the work that goes in behind the scenes of developing and creating strength-based programs or healthy programs for general population. Okay, so this is going to help you to make sure that you know what to program and how to program it, and whether your program is going to be effective for you or not. Okay, and make sure that you're covering all bases of everything that you're doing. Now, I do truly highly recommend hiring somebody to write programs for you. It makes your life so much easier. Okay, it is so much better. I highly recommend it. You do not have to worry about it. You can just follow the plan, follow the program. It is the best way to go about it. All right, but if you want to know more about it, then you can study it and learn it just like I have, and this video is going to help you to break that down and understand it, especially if you're an aspiring trainer wanting to deliver this to other clients. Okay, alrighty, let's see how you feel with this. All right. So firstly, the first thing that we need to know, right, is we need to understand this pyramid right here, okay? We need to understand these few components. Once we understand these things, then we can go in and write programs and smash it, all right? So there's a lot that goes into writing programs, but I'm gonna break down the basics and hope that you understand that properly. Okay, so first thing, and this is the most important base of our pyramid here, okay, is strength, okay? Now strength is truly everything, all right? Strength, if you are stronger, it improves everything along the pyramid, okay? The bigger the base, the bigger the tower. The bigger the base, or the stronger the base, the more that you can build upon it and make it better, okay? So strength is the key. Strength is the key, the number one thing. If you only trained, if you only did this stuff, if you only worked in your strength, everything else will be taken care of anyway, okay? So for a lot of people, a lot of general population people, not sports specific or not trying to go on a bodybuilding stage or anything like that, just people like myself that just want to be fit, healthy, and be strong, this is pretty much all you need to focus on, really. Like, you don't have to worry about the other stuff, it'll get taken care of. All right, anyway, moving on. So strength is about building control and stability, okay? Building control and stability through your body. So that is what we focus on for most general population people. We really want them to be able to control their body, to be able to feel stable within their body, and that their joints feel mobile and able to use everything properly, okay? The strength is the main key, and how you work your strength is it's got to be between 1 and 20 repetitions. If you're lifting a weight that you can do more than 20 repetitions of, you are no longer working strength and you are working endurance, okay? Because your body's energy systems mean that if the weight is too light, it's going to push you into the energy systems of utilizing your cardiovascular energy system, not your strength-based energy system, okay? So that is the biggest, one really important thing to note is that it has to be under 20 reps, okay? Now, you can do an exercise that's 30 reps and you'll still get strong from it, don't get me wrong. You can do that every now and again, that's fine to supplement in, but just know that is your cardio endurance is going to be taking over, not necessarily your strength. So majority of your strength training needs to be within that 1 to 20 repetitions, okay? Now, there's no absolutes when it comes to fitness, okay? There's no absolutes when it comes to program. It depends on the person and it will change to each individual, but this is one of the major things that is an absolute for a lot of people, okay? Now, control and stability within that, but we want that also, the other key factor is to be within 20 seconds and 2 minutes, okay, of activity. I could probably even cut that down. Within, say, 3 seconds and 20 seconds of activity, 2 minutes of activity. Anything under that sort of time limit is going to be more strength focused as well, okay? So that means if you're doing a set of squats and it took you 2 minutes to do the set of squats and it was under 20 reps, you're still going to be in strength training. If you're doing 15 reps, but those 15 reps took you 3 minutes, you're actually working your endurance system, okay? So it's a time-based thing too. Okay, moving on. So the next most important thing on this is mobility and flexibility, all right? So you can be really, really, really strong, but if you can't touch your toes, you're gonna have health issues, okay? So you're gonna have issues with your body later on in life, you're gonna get arthritis, do all these different things that could come into your body if you're not mobile, don't have a good base of mobility and flexibility, okay? So strength is important, but if you don't have this, then you're not gonna be able to utilize your strength, okay? So that's what can be important for most people, is to be able to build that up and to have that as well. All right, endurance is the next one on here. With mobility and flexibility, there's no real standard rules for that. It's literally stretching, foam rolling, doing a lot of strength training builds mobility and flexibility anyway. I think the best thing to do with this is to have markers. So to be like, okay, can I touch my toes? No, I can't touch my toes. Do some stretching. Okay, now I can touch my toes. Awesome. So I've made some progress. All right. Same with everything. You want to be able to have markers for everything. But that's the major thing, is just having generalized things that you can target for mobility. I think it's important. Now your next step is endurance, okay? So we're gonna make sure we hit our endurance. We've got to keep our cardiovascular health healthy. Like I said, if you're working strength, you're gonna be working on this one anyway, okay? Even if you're keeping under that 20 reps, your heart rate still elevates, okay? So the definition of cardio or cardiovascular work is elevated heart rate, okay? Elevated heart rate. That's it, okay? So anything that elevates your heart rate is going to be within this realm, all right? So whether it is strength training, whether it is doing mobility work, it's going to elevate your heart rate, you're going to be within this, okay? But generally speaking, the idea of it is, I've written on this board, it's really little, I don't know if you can see it, but basically 20 reps plus, okay? And what that means is it's not you have to do more than 20 reps to be in cardio. It means that you should be using a weight no heavier than something that you can do for 20 reps. Okay, so for example, if I do see this happen a lot in CrossFit, that people are doing cardio workouts with quite a heavy weight. That's fine, all right? Let's leave that for the CrossFit athletes, because for generally healthy, fit people, it can be detrimental to the body. It can be detrimental to your health to go too heavy with your cardio exercises, all right? So nothing against CrossFit. CrossFit's great, don't get me wrong, but it can affect your body, it can affect your joints. So personally, I prefer to keep people doing weights that they can handle for more than 20 reps for whatever exercise it is, whether you're doing squats for cardio, whether you're doing running for cardio, push-ups, whatever it is. I try and keep it within those realms of they can do 20 plus reps, or I get them to do a certain amount of reps that they feel confident and capable of doing, okay? And then pair that in with other things, so superset it. You might do a superset of pull-ups, but you might only be able to do 5 pull-ups, so you do 2 pull-ups that you can easily manage, and then you move to the next exercise, that's another cardio exercise, okay? So I think that's a really smart way to do it. Okay, I'm just gonna check the camera. Yep, make sure it's still on. The next thing, so obviously with this as well, we're looking at least 40 seconds and above. So 40 seconds of continuous activity is going to put you into a cardio state for sure, all right? So anything above 40 seconds of continuous activity, you're going to be working your cardio state. You could still be working your strength in that time as well. So because a lot of these things, they blend together, all right? They're not just one straightforward, you have to work it by itself. This is all a blend of things together, okay? I'm going to explain more and more about that. All right, next one is power and speed, okay? Now, power and speed, this is absolute power, absolute speed. So I'm talking jumping as high as you possibly can, running as fast as you physically can, or throwing a ball as hard as you possibly can, all right? Now, this is between generally 1 and 5 repetitions of an exercise, and it's less than 20 seconds on general. So less than 20 seconds. So certain people or certain exercises, you might do like 20 reps of an exercise, but for a box jump or jumping, I only do 5 reps, okay? Because that is gonna be probably hitting above that 20 seconds of the whole activity itself. Or you might do like a 20-meter sled push, as hard as fast as you can, okay? But it's less than 20 seconds of activity at your absolute maximum ability, okay? And I'm gonna tell you through where I put this in the program. Again though, if you're stronger, you're gonna be more powerful anyway. Even if you don't move fast doing your strength, just having a stronger base will make you faster. It simply does, okay? Being more mobile, if you're immobile, it's gonna slow you down. So increasing your flexibility, it's gonna make you faster, okay? If you've got really bad cardio health, if you walk up a set of stairs and you can barely breathe, and you work on your cardio and it improves, then obviously your power and strength is going to improve as well, okay? So that's why it's at the top, because it improves from all these other things, and it's the one that we don't really need to worry about as much unless you're an athlete, okay? Still so important for everybody to work on, and I'll show you how I incorporate it into a program, okay? So now, the key components for most people, okay? I wrote for most people because it changes for every single person, okay? But for most people, these are the 3 key components that go into a workout. You've got your warm-up, all right? You've got your strength training, and then you've got the endurance work, all right? These are the 3 things that I'll put in a program for pretty much everybody, okay? These are the 3 main important things that I try to focus on the most. All right, so your warm-up, strength, and endurance. Now let's break this down a little bit. So what should you include in your warm-up, all right? Now, I definitely think that you need to include a lot of, this pen doesn't really work. I think you definitely need to include a lot of your mobility, and your flexibility within your warm-up, okay? I personally like a lot of flexibility and mobility in my warm-ups just because it gets your body mobile, ready for the workout, okay? Also think that most people don't stretch at the end of the workout, so if you put the warm-ups at the start of the workout, they'll get it done. All right, and it's so important to get these things in. So I would rather people do a static stretch at the beginning of a workout, even though a lot of people say it's not optimal. I think the most optimal thing is doing your stretches. So regardless, you just got to make sure that you get them done. If you put them at the start of the workout, you will do them more often than not, okay? So in the warm-up, that's definitely one that should be in there. Now, the next thing that I like to put in my warm-up is I like to do a little bit of a cardio circuit. So when I say a cardio circuit there, I just do lighter exercises, lighter reps that can kind of get the heart rate elevated to get you warm. So you might do, say, 3 or 4 different exercises within that warm-up, but it's all sort of lighter exercise, lightweight, not too heavy, things that you maybe could do for 10 reps, 20 reps, that sort of in that sort of range. But that is what I like to put in my warm-ups as well. So pairing up those two things within the warm-up will get your body elevated, get your heart rate elevated, and also make you feel nice and mobile, okay? That's what's important, and I think can feel really good. When I say cardio, it's not your all-out hard as you possibly can cardio, it's just that little bit. Then I also like to include a little bit of power and speed in my warm-ups too. So at the last exercise of the warm-up, I like to get people to do some jumping, or I like to people to throw some balls around, throw them as hard as they can, whatever it is, just a little bit of power. Once you're already a little bit warm, once you've done your mobility, once you're a little bit warm, then you can do a bit of power work, and you just feel so much more alive after you do that, okay? And very small amounts. The warm-ups aren't massive. It's 5 to 10 minutes max, no longer than that, okay? If your warm-up's longer than 10 minutes, then that's a workout, not a warm-up, okay? So I like to keep it at least sort of that 5-minute mark. I think it's pretty good. Okay, now strength, all right? So now strength. This is the key component for a lot of people. And like I said, some people just stay here. So they'll do the warm-up, they do the strength work, that's it. They don't need the endurance part because you'll get the strength within the endurance part anyway. Obviously, your strength is going to be down here, but I wanted to show you these 6 exercises that are over here on the board, okay? So you've got your big 6, all right? Now, this is where your strength training is going to be mostly set, is between these exercises here, okay? So you've got your squat or squat pattern, your deadlift pattern, your push-up pattern, your back row pattern or pull-up pattern. You've got your glute bridge pattern and your plank/core pattern. Now, you'll hear that I'm saying the word pattern, okay? So what I mean by that is that a squat is also a lunge, okay? Now, the only difference between a squat and a lunge is that your squat is with both feet, your lunge is with one foot in front of the other, okay? So, or your split squat is another definition for it as well, okay? So it is a squat pattern, okay? So that's one way to look at it. Now you've got your deadlift. Again, you've got a single leg deadlift, okay? Still a deadlift. You've got your push-up, or you've got your bench press, your dumbbell presses. You've got so many different exercises that you can do, your cable flies, all these different things. They are a variation upon your push-up, okay? Then you've got your back row, which is pulling back here, or you can do pull-ups. Anything that's pulling towards your body is going to be classified as a back row. You can do that single arm, double arm, whatever you need. You've got your glute bridge. Now, glute bridge can also is thrusting of the hips, okay, in a horizontal position. So thrusting of the hips vertically is your deadlift. Thrusting of the hips horizontally is your glute bridge, okay? So that could also include a hip thrust, okay? A single leg hip thrust, double leg hip thrust, whatever it is, barbell hip thrust, band hip thrust, glute bridge on the floor, glute bridge, with your feet elevated. There's so many different variations of the same exercises, but you've got to get them done. Okay, now the next thing is your plank/core variation, okay? So anything that hits your core is going to be part of that, all right? So it's either a plank hold, stability exercises, rotating through your body, doing leg raises, doing crunches, all these different things hit your core. And you've just got to include at least 1 or 2 of those exercises within your program as well, okay? So this is how you structure a program, okay? That's how you structure your strength, is you just include certain these exercises. Now, obviously, if you do, for example, if you do 1 day a week and you just smash your legs, they're going to be really sore. So you've got to give them a chance to rest. So you might do a bit of upper body for the next day, all right? Then you'll come back the next day and you'll do the other legs. I think that's a really cool way to do it as well. I do like to do 2 leg workouts, 2 upper body workouts a week for most people, depending on what they have, or just full body workouts 2 to 3 times a week, okay? So just pick what works well for you. If you're going to be training more often, split up your program a little bit more. If you're training less often, you've got to include everything in. If you train 1 day a week, I would just do these 6 exercises. That's all I would do if you're training 1 day a week. If you're training 2 days a week, then you can do half and half, all right? So that's the way to look at it. Super simple, super simple. Alrighty, moving on, we've got your endurance. Now your endurance can be whatever the heck you want. It really doesn't matter, okay? It really doesn't matter. As long as it's a weight that you can do for more than 20 reps, as long as it's longer than 40 seconds, so it could be walking, could be running on a treadmill, could be not necessarily jumping, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I don't like to jump for endurance. That's actually one thing I should know. I don't like to do a lot of jumping work for more than 40 seconds because it ends up hurting your neurological system. It also ends up hurting your joints. So I like to keep it low impact, okay? Now certain exercises like throwing a ball is actually low impact, okay? It's still power, you're still getting a bit of power in there, but it's low impact, right? You're not jumping, you're just throwing. So things like that is fine, but anything that's gonna get you moving, now depending on the person, you might be able to handle a little bit more higher impact and do some sprinting or do some running, okay? That's fine too. But anything, absolutely anything, it really doesn't matter, okay? Dancing, moving weights around, carrying weights around, anything that is challenging for your body and elevating your heart rate is fine for your endurance. Now I do like to sort of structure the workouts that I do the warm up at the start, strength work in the middle, and endurance at the end. Okay, I don't like to put the endurance before the strength because sometimes that will lead you to taxing your body and it'll put you in a bit of a compromised position when you're trying to lift a really heavy squat, for example. Okay, so you don't want to be already taxed out. You want to feel, you know, as strong as you possibly can when you're doing your strength work. All right, so this is for general population people that, you know, just want to be fitter, healthier human beings, to lose weight, to be leaner, to be stronger, just to be a general fit human person, okay? This is everything you need to know about how to program for your body and how to program for you, all right? So I hope that sort of makes sense. Now, like I said, I've put years into understanding this stuff, absolutely years into understanding this. I've been a personal trainer now for 9 years. So I highly recommend, and my biggest recommendation, not just because I'm a personal trainer, is to get programs written for you, okay? It is the best way to go about it because there is no other better method. It is just, you know, putting your trust into somebody that knows what they're doing and can do it for you to keep it fun and entertaining, but still challenge your body and make it progressive is so important, okay? So even after knowing all this stuff, it's still gonna be quite hard to write a program, even after knowing all this stuff, because there's so many different exercises in the world, so many different things. So that's why I highly recommend choosing somebody that you trust to write your programs for you, because it's just gonna be so much easier. You don't have to worry about it. It takes all the planning and worry out of it completely. All right, if you're a personal trainer and you're wanting to, you know, train people and know how to do this, then obviously this is your job, right? This is part of what you need to do. So you're gonna have to learn this. You're gonna have to put the years in to understand this properly, and the years of you training and then developing other people's programs and get the practice in. That is the main key, is just time. You need practice and just effort. Every single week, every single day, writing new programs, creating new programs, giving the people, check the progress, see how they go. One other thing I want to note just before I go is a program should never be less than 3 weeks, okay? Don't ever do a program for 1 week or 2 weeks. It has to be 3 weeks and above. 3 to 8, or like literally 3 to 12 weeks of the same exercises, okay? Between 3 to 12 weeks of the exact same exercises. All right, I should leave it there. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys, bye.